of them, but contempt is meaningful. It's a symbolic slap on the wrist. I think Merrick Garland has to take that slap on the wrist if it means protecting DOJ's core institutional values.
Always great to see you. Appreciate it. Thank you. And another bit of news just into CNN, more scandal for freshman Republican Congressman George Santos. The latest denial from him, he's denying he ever performed as a drag queen, calling the story, quote, categorically false. A longtime local performer, though, in Brazil is saying otherwise, claiming that they were actually at a Rio area parade in 2008. She provided us with this image from that time, which she says is in fact, so she says you're looking here at George Santos. CNN has not independently verified the image. Santos has not replied to a request for comment, but this is just one of a number of stories that is coming out as there are more controversies, there are more lies exposed, and more investigations tied to the congressman, which is why numerous elected Republicans are calling on him to resign. But what about his constituents in New York? Well, CNN's Miguel Marquez asked them.
What's the level of frustration right now?
Very high. I think it was above and beyond what many politicians do, exaggerate a little bit. What he did was criminal.
Would you like Speaker McCarthy and the Republican leadership to freeze him out, to ask him to resign? Does something more need to happen from that level?
Yes, I think they should get rid of him. They should vote him out on the House level.
The other person had been in for a long time, wasn't doing a lot for my town and Nassau County, and I was figuring, maybe some fresh blood would be the best.
What would you like to see now? Would you like to see him leave office? What would you like to see?
Well, I guess he has to leave office because of everything that he pretended that he was, but he wasn't. However, I'm kind of like up in the air. I didn't donate any money, so I don't have that up against me.
You're up in the air.
Well, one person is saying that Santos should
You
stay
voted for
is
him,
House Speaker
but
Kevin
you don't
McCarthy.
know if
Of course,
any of those lies that he's told is really changing your vote.
Buffalo Bill safety
But
Mark Hamlin
you
is
got
back
something
at the
should
facility.
be
His
done
recovery, of
to
course, just
him,
beginning
but
in many ways.
you don't know what. The thing is you just don't fucking care. You want to get on TV.
With Gold Bond, you can age on your own terms. New retinol overnight.
Can I ask you a question about George Santos? Yeah, sure. You have an opinion about him? Yeah, sure. What is it? I don't know.
Wrinkle skin in just 2 days. Gold Bond, champions your skin.
New Ivisia Dry Eye Drops. Made with hydrating polymers, moisturizing hyaluronic acid, and revitalizing cellulose to reduce dryness, discomfort, and strain. Ivisia. We see it a better way.
This is our premium platinum coverage map, and this is consumer cellulose map. See the difference?
No, I don't see the difference. Do you?
Well, that one's purple. Exactly. That's our premium.
What does that mean?
That means it costs more.
For the same coverage.
That's what makes it premium. That doesn't make sense, does it? No. But it is premium. I'd just go with consumer cellular. I have to say. Get the exact same coverage as the nation's leading carrier, starting at $20. Consumer cellular.
Did you know GoodRx can help you get a better price on your family's prescriptions?
I just open the app, type in the name of our meds. That's it. Savings on my husband's blood pressure bills. And savings on my daughter's allergy pills.
Prescription savings for the whole family. Another good reason to check GoodRx.
This thing. It's making you get a nice bath again.
What do you mean? Scraps are mind-blowing. They put hundreds of data points like HRV and REM sleep, so you know all you need for recovery.
And you are?
I'm an investor in Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like wearable training, optimization tech.
Hello?
I'm done.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ.
Okay.
Before investing, carefully reading, consider fund objectives, risk, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Research shows people remember ads with a catchy song. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's a little number you'll never forget.
Did you know that Liberty Mutual
They're just going to live in there.
Only pay for what you need.
Fuckers.
I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. It's cool. I don't want anything too serious either. This is a fun, spontaneous thing. I'm looking for someone who will let loose, dress up a little, see a show, order the steak, and some people say an accessory. Who cares? I'm just looking for a Saturday to remember and a Sunday by the pool. Think you can keep up?
Agent Advisor Balancing project bids, offering secure and busy gigs. There we go. This team tackles it all. I can do anything. Married to Real Estate. All new Thursday at 9 on HGTV.
The atmosphere is enormous. Sparkling will be champion today.
That dude is killing with that.
Well, at least you'll get that fucking thing out finally today, so...
Huh?
I said, at least you'll get that fucking thing out finally today.
Look at that. Move. Set you up with pillows here.
Business can happen anytime, anywhere. So help yours thrive and stay
We'll get
connected
it
with
moved
the
out of the way.
Comcast Business Complete Connectivity Solution. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network.
Fucking
Advanced
hurt so
speed
bad I
Wi-Fi
can barely
and
walk.
cyber threat
I know, well, this is the
protection.
last
Starting
one
at
you have
just
to
$40
sleep
a
on because
month.
we're going to
Plus,
take
you
that
can save
out
up to
tonight.
60% a year when you
And
add
you don't have to
Comcast
sleep
Business
on it
Mobile.
anymore.
Or ask how to get onto the $750 prepaid
So-
card. Complete connectivity. One solution for wherever business
we're
takes
good there.
you. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
I'm Kara Skedaly New York, and this is CNN. A long road ahead. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin has made remarkable progress since he collapsed on the field after suffering cardiac arrest in a game within 2 weeks ago. A longtime friend and business partner, however, says Hamlin is still facing a lengthy recovery. CNN sports anchor Corey Wire joins us now from the Buffalo Bills stadium. So the Bills coach has said Damar Hamlin is back in the facility almost every day. Bring us up to speed, Coy. How is he doing, and what is that lengthy road ahead?
Hi, Erica. Yeah, we're being reminded of just how scary, serious, nearly fatal Damar Hamlin's injury was, right? His longtime friend, business representative Jordan Rooney, told me this morning that Damar still requires oxygen. He gets winded very easily. His heart is monitored regularly. But he also says that Damar remains positive and he is ready to overcome this. And his teammates, like AJ Epinesa, they say they feel so settled now knowing that he's getting better. And many others say that their spirits are lifted now that Damar is back around the team in that building.
It's been good to see him, a smile on his face, and guys love having him back in the building. To see three just smile and just wave and just, put his hearts up and keep it pushing, it's a positive energy bubble that's just floating around the facility.
Positive energy bubble. That sounds great, doesn't it? We can all use that from time to time. Coach Sean McDermott said just a bit ago that he's not sure if Damar's going to be at the game. Organization is just there to support him in any way they can. The players, Erica, they have to lock in, though. It has been an emotional roller coaster. One player said that he cannot unsee Damar collapsing on the field, but they now have to play this huge playoff game with the lingering emotions, those invaders of the mind from what happened the last time the Bills and Bengals faced off. Kickoff for this one is Sunday at 3 Eastern.
Sunday at 3 Eastern. Yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot will be coming out there with them on the field. There will have plenty of people watching this. Mr. Coy, great to see you, my friend. Thank you. Pharmaceutical company Merck says it has finally discovered how some of its diabetes drugs became contaminated with a cancer-causing compound and is now trying to reduce the levels to resolve that problem. CNN medical correspondent Dr. Karen Arula joining us now. So the FDA had said last August Merck found these potential carcinogens in some of its drugs. Now they know how it got there, but still really troubling. Yeah, it's definitely scary when you hear about this, but this does happen. In fact, we talked a couple years ago, back in 2018, about this type of compound, nitrosamines, being found in some heartburn medication, some blood pressure medication. You may remember that many of those drugs were recalled at the time, and in fact, in 2020, the FDA issued guidance to companies to prevent nitrosamines from really becoming
becoming part of the drugs that they're creating. We know that that can happen during the manufacturing process with some chemical reactions, but nitrosamines are naturally occurring compounds that we can find in the water, in the air, in certain foods, things like cured or grilled meats or fish. So we're all exposed to them. The question is what level? And it's really when those levels become higher than acceptable for long periods of time that there is an increased risk of cancer. So some level is acceptable. Now, we don't know what level it is that Merck has found, but clearly they are working on this. Now, one key thing is if you are a patient that takes one of these type 2 diabetes.
I just got a T5 ship token. I'm trying to decide what ship I want to get. Trying to think of the Excelsior refit.
It would be important to speak to your doctor. Don't just
or get me a Sovereign class ship.
And have a conversation about what the next steps might be. Now, we did reach out to Merck, and they told us that the company has already instituted additional quality controls and expects to be able to consistently reduce NTTP levels to the long-term acceptable daily intake level this year, Erica. So hopefully this will be coming soon. Yeah, let's hope so. Real quickly before I let you go, there is a CDC report on opioids and emergency visits. What have you learned? Yeah, well, we know that a big risk factor for opioid dependence is getting a prescription when you leave the ER for pain for an opioid. And many of those opioid pills end up going unused by the patient and then end up in circulation in communities and can contribute to misuse and overdose. And so the CDC recently released data suggesting that numbers have gone down in terms of what ERs are prescribing. So they told us that the rates of ER visits with opioids given at discharge dropped. You can see from 2017 to 2018, that was about 50.5 visits per 1,000 adults. 2019 to 2020, it dropped to 36.4 EP visits per 1,000 adults. In addition, the percent of ER visits with an opioid prescribed at discharge also decreased from 12.2% in 2017 to 2018 down to 8.1% in 2019 to 2020. So this is really encouraging. One more step in the right direction.
Absolutely, Dr. Marula, thank you. Finally today, it is just Sophie's favorite story. Ketchup, we know it's great on a burger, it's a good friend and French fry, and apparently one of America's favorite condiments. It can also save your life. Just ask Elvis Francois, who spent more than 3 weeks lost at sea, but he survived thanks to what? Ketchup. He was working on a sailboat off the coast of St. Martin. Strong current sweeps him out to sea, he said. He decided to call some friends, lost his signal, and then Elvis Francois spent the next 24 days adrift with nothing but garlic powder, seasoning cubes, and a trusty bottle of ketchup. He was eventually rescued.
A trusty bottle of ketchup.
Near the coast of Colombia. He used a mirror to catch the attention of someone flying a plane overhead who saw the word help.
Put some ketchup on it.
There you go. Have a great weekend. Dr. Ketchup.
Pause handles the driving. Tack at your pace, store your things until you're ready, then we deliver to your new home, across town or across the country.
Oh, those cells look like shit.
Experian Boost helped me raise my FICO score by a whopping 28 points.
Experian helped me boost my FICO score and it's free.
Experian Boost has helped millions of people. How can it help you? Boost your FICO score instantly. It's free. Download the Experian app now. Go find lots of titles. Veteran, son, dad, hairstylist, and cheerleader. So adding a student title might feel overwhelming. What if a school could be there for all of you and keep career and family, finances and mental health while they get the care? National University, supporting the whole.
Working a nationwide 5G network from school for business to for your business? Unlock new insights and efficiency right now. Allow monitoring so that you can get remote job sites with next generation bandwidth. And new AI cameras in real time using next generation speed. And deliver ultra capacity 5G coverage that's years ahead of the competition. T-Mobile for Business has 5G that's ready right now.
Sometimes leave you guessing. MailChimp takes the guesswork out of email marketing by analyzing data from billions of emails to offer suggestions for how to improve engagement and revenue. Guess less and sell more with MailChimp.
To learn more, visit Celebrity.com, call 1-800-CELEBRITY, or contact your travel advisor.
I was always the competitive one in our family, until my sister signed up for United Healthcare Medicare Advantage. Now she's got a whole team to help her get the most out of her plan. With coverage that's better than ever for dental, vision, prescription drugs, and more.
Advantage me.
Can't wait till I turn 65.
AARP Medicare Advantage plans only from United Healthcare. Take advantage now at uhc.com/Medicare.
Bye-bye, cough.
Later chest congestion. Hello, 12 hours of relief.
12 hours? Not coughing? Hashtag still not coughing?
Mucinex DM gives you 12 hours of relief from chest congestion and any type of cough, day or night. Mucinex DM. It's comeback season.
Honey, are you throwing the marshmallow?
Relaxing to watch TV. Actually watching TV?
HBO out.
It's easy with Dish.
Honey, are you on the floor cushion?
Live TV and streaming apps together with Dish, tuned in to you. As kids, they told us to follow our dreams. But the minute we started chasing them, they told us we were being unrealistic. Told us to think about our future. Said it was too late for us. And passions don't pay bills. But we didn't know that dreamers make their own victory.
If your business kept on employees through the pandemic, GetRefunds.com can see if it may qualify for a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee, even if it received PPP. And all it takes is 8 minutes to get started. Then we'll work with you to fill out your forms and submit the application. That easy. And if your business doesn't get paid, we don't get paid. GetRefunds.com has helped businesses like yours claim over $2 billion, but it's only available for a limited time. Go to GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
At America's Best, you can get 2 pairs of glasses and a free eye exam starting at just $79.95. And they don't even have to be identical. One pair can be practical and sturdy, while the other pair is super stylish and wildly good-looking.
Hello, I'm Victor Blackwell. Welcome to CNN Newsroom.
I'm Allison Camerata. This afternoon, President Biden will meet with a bipartisan group of mayors at a White House event. Just minutes ago, the Justice Department dealt a major blow to Republicans hoping to investigate the president. DOJ signaled it will fight House Republicans over their document requests as part of their committee probes into Biden's past.
We have a team of correspondents covering these breaking developments. CNN's Phil Mattingly is at the White House. CNN's Manu Raju is on Capitol Hill. We're going to start with CNN's Paula Reed. Paula, give us the latest on what the Justice Department is telling House Republicans.
Well, Victor, we certainly didn't expect that the Justice Department was just going to hand over evidence related to a series of ongoing criminal investigations. But in this letter to House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, the Justice Department makes it clear that they are unlikely to comply with his broad request for information on a number of different matters. Now, the department makes it clear, though, they believe oversight is important. They do want to cooperate, but they need to balance that against the need to protect ongoing criminal investigations. Jordan has made it clear, though, he wants to examine how the Justice Department has handled a series of matters, including its ongoing investigations into former President Trump and current President Joe Biden and the possible mishandling of classified documents. This letter really lays out the hurdles that Jordan is going to face. So right now, he's not getting anything from the Justice Department, but this letter lays out how they want to go into these negotiations to see if they can possibly accommodate any of his requests. But in the short time, those requests are going to go unanswered.
Okay, so Manu, what are House Republicans going to do now? Well, they haven't officially said yet. They are just received the letter, but you can expect they're not going to take this line down. They certainly have the ability to issue a subpoena, and we'll see how the Justice Department would respond to that. This is what we can expect probably over the next several months and years for Republicans who are now in charge to be frustrated that some of their demands will not be met. This happened when the Democrats took control of the House back in 2019. They issued letter after letter, subpoena after subpoena to the Trump administration, administration, the Trump administration didn't respond. Sometimes that went to court, and that led to a years-long drag-out, knockdown, drag-out fight. And we'll see if that ever gets to that, or then we reach some sort of accommodation where the House Judiciary Committee can get some answers. But there are some questions that some Democrats have. Democrats want to make sure that the documents that were mishandled by the president did not include any information that could harm national security, including one Democrat that I just spoke with, Senator Ben Cardin. The president needs to be completely transparent about what happened.
I want to see complete transparency on how this is handled and brought forward to the American people. I'm convinced there was no intent by the president to do something that was wrong.
Do you think this hurts him politically? Concerned about that at all?
Well, this is a matter that the president needs to get behind. He has to get all the information out. He has to square it away and make it clear that there was no intent here, that it was kept in a place that did not compromise the national security of America, and that there's steps in place today to make sure this does not happen in the future.
And there have been bipartisan requests for more information about the president's handling of this situation. The Senate Intelligence Committee, led by Democrats, has asked for a briefing to ensure that there was no damage that was done to national security by the release of these documents. And when Congress returns next week from its recess, expect those calls to intensify from Republicans in particular, but also with some Democrats as well.
What? I feel the White House. The president, he spoke out about the mishandled documents investigation. What did he say this time?
I think it's interesting in the context of what we've been discussing here, how the White House views investigations in a very different manner. I'd start with House Republicans. You heard what the Justice Department laid out, as Paula reported. White House officials have also received a number of document requests related to this issue of classified documents from House Republican chairs. Haven't responded yet. Have said they would respond to good faith efforts. They've also attacked.
Well, what time you got to be there?
Repeatedly, with a kind of implicit way of saying you'll view any of the
questions that
gotten up to this point as in good faith. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. They view, obviously, the special counsel investigation in a very different manner. However, the president, in his first public remarks in a couple of days on the issue, gave a pretty good window into how senior White House officials are both viewing things at this moment and engaging on it generally. Take a listen.
We're fully cooperating, looking forward to getting this resolved quickly. I think you're going to find there's nothing there. I have no regrets. I'm following what lawyers have told me they want me to do. It's exactly what we're doing. There's no there.
Never mind.
The two things there that I think are good windows into what I hear behind the scenes here. The first is the idea of no, they're there. You hear that a lot from White House officials, that they believe, while they don't have full visibility into the actual documents discovered, they don't have a sense that this is going to end up with any major problems once the investigation is done. Now, granted, they don't know how long the investigation will take or where the special counsel will take things, but that's their view of things at the moment. And the other is the president's reference to his lawyers. That has been so critical in how they've operated throughout this entire process, sometimes to the frustration of a lot of us who want more answers, very clearly looking at the legal side of things far more than even the political or communication side, guys.
Okay, Paula, Manu, Phil, thank you. Former federal prosecutor Renato Mariotti joins us now. Renato, great to see you. So these Justice Department documents that the House the House committees, the Republicans on House committees want, are there no documents that the Department of Justice could turn over to them that wouldn't jeopardize an ongoing investigation?
There may be some, but I would say, Allison, that these requests, I think, are designed to achieve this response. In other words, there's a lot of things that the House could be engaging in oversight regarding the Justice Department. There's been the last few years, the former president had obviously significant investigations into him. There's a lot of questions about how the Justice Department handles things, but instead they're focused on ongoing criminal investigations. That's where the Justice Department is going to be the most sensitive about handing over information. That's where the courts and the law is going to be on their side. I almost, I'm not a political analyst, but I would just say that it seems like these are designed to result in this result that we're seeing here.
There's an interesting line here in this letter from the Office of the Assistant Attorney General where they start the second paragraph with, "We welcome your interest in the department's work." I mean, it's kind of like, we know you're coming for us. You have telegraphed this move, but they also in these pages highlight that, yes, we expect and understand, and it's appropriate for there to be oversight, but we have to stay within these parameters because we can't go too deep into even confirming the existence of an investigation.
Well, that's right. I mean, you know, if I was sitting down with House members and they were asking me, look, what are things that what are requests we can make that can generate actual documents in our possession? I'd say, look, there's a lot of investigations into the former president. You can look at how those are handled. Those investigations are already closed. You can look at the practices of the Justice Department. There are a lot of questions. Legitimate questions about the practices that they have, you know, political influence on the department more generally. There's a lot that they could look into, but this focus on ongoing criminal investigations appears to me to have some political motive. I wouldn't, you know, I know there's a suggestion comparing it to stonewalling during the Trump era. I don't regard that here. I think this is sort of what you'd expect from the Justice Department regarding ongoing criminal investigations.
So now the House can issue a subpoena for the documents to the DOJ, and whose power trumps the other, no pun intended. I mean, does the DOJ have the last word on this, or does the Oversight Committee?
Well, the beauty of our system is that neither side has the last word. Ultimately, the House is going to have to go to court if they want to enforce this, and that we've seen that play out during the Trump administration, where there were, I think, unprecedented to produce documents to Congress that ultimately went to the courts, and I think the public got to see that it often takes a long time for the courts to resolve those matters. The same happened during the Obama administration when there were disputes about documents or records, and I think part of our system is that, you know, these interplay between the branches ultimately can be resolved by political power often, rather than through any sort of definitive legal decision one way or the other.
Put that back on the floor.
Renato Mariotti, always good to have your expertise. Thank you. Joining us now is former governor of Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson. Governor, good to see you. So let's go back to before the election. Republicans ran on crime, the border, and inflation. That was the trifecta, the trinity they were going to attack. So the early bills, though, once they got into power, out of the gate, were on abortion, and these flurries of investigations they're launching. Do you think they're on the right track as they start
vehicles in
I do. Whenever you look, Victor, at this Congress under Kevin McCarthy, the first thing is the extension of the debt limit, and of course we're raising the issue of too much spending that's out of control that we've got to have a plan to address. And so that goes to the inflation issue that the American people expected Congress, the Republicans, to address. Obviously, whenever you're looking at the allegations of politicization of the Justice Department, those are very important questions for oversight hearings, and that's expected by the American public as well. And so you can do the oversight role, you can look at border security, you can look at the issues of crime, and so all of those need to be addressed. But let's start where we are. With the debt ceiling and how this administration, the Biden administration, has spent excessively. That has hurt us in terms of our inflation rate. Europe is doing a better job of controlling it than we are, and that's appropriate to raise this issue during the discussions on the debt limit.
Before I go to the debt limit, you're a former U.S. attorney, and this letter just sent over from the DOJ to House Republicans, in which they say any oversight request must be weighed against the department's equities and protecting ongoing matters, and to avoid even a perception that our efforts are influenced by anything but the law on the facts. You agree with the approach from the DOJ that anything that even confirms the existence of an investigation or gets to some of those questions about those investigations should be off limits for the House?
Hopefully when we're ready.
Well, they have legitimate concerns about grand jury material, about ongoing investigations, and improper influence or revelations concerning those. So it's really more important as to where it goes from here, and there needs to be a conversation. There needs to be a sense of cooperation from the Justice Department to provide Congress their oversight responsibility enough information to address it. As one of your previous guests said, it's appropriate to ask questions about process. How did you get from point A to point B? Did you follow your rules? Did you follow the existing Department of Justice guidelines?
But nothing specific about the investigation. Okay. Sorry. I got it from you. Thank you, Governor. Let's move down to the debt limit. And this standoff where the White House says no negotiations, no cuts, we want a clean bill. Republicans say that there must be cuts. When you were in the House, you were a freshman then in 1997, there was an increase in the debt limit up to $6 billion. Sounds quaint now. So it happened as part of the Balanced Budget Act. There was a fight then, but it got done. There were some cuts. There were some increases in spending. Different environment, but I wonder how you see this ending. What are we going to see over the next 5 months in this fight over the debt limit?
Well, in the end, you have to increase the debt limit in order to maintain full faith and credit of the United States. And so the end goal is to protect the financial stability in our economy from paying our debts. That's what the United States does, and our allies need to understand that and be assured of that. But whenever you see the out-of-control spending by this administration, it's also appropriate to say, Mr. President, let's sit down. Let's have a framework as we can address and bring this spending under control. And this is a good time to do it, where we're focused on an extraordinary debt that is at a record amount and continues to grow.
But must those two things be tied to one another? Do you say that there must be cuts in order to increase the debt ceiling?
There should be a framework to address excessive spending. That is important, and the president should be willing to work with Congress to address that. The president should have a framework to control spending. If he doesn't, shame on him. And so if you don't have that framework, let's work with Congress to do it. That is an appropriate request by Congress. Let's get that done. And obviously, we want to do what's necessary to pay the bills of the United States.
Last one on the debt ceiling here. Former President Trump posted on social media, quote, under no circumstances should Republicans vote to cut a single penny from Medicare or Social Security. Some Republicans say that everything, including entitlement programs, should be on the table. Where are you on cuts to Social Security and Medicare?
Well, Social Security and Medicare are not something that should be dealt with in this environment. We got to maintain the confidence of the American public on the protection of those two programs. Whenever you look at Medicaid, I have to deal with regularly as a governor, and absolutely there's ways that you can control that entitlement program to a greater extent, and so that's something that should be discussed as to how to control those costs.
As part of the debt limit conversation, as a requirement to raise it.
As a framework to address these out-of-control spending, and most of the spending is a discretionary area that we're concerned about, which is the Inflation Reduction Act and the trillions of dollars that have been put out there that the Republicans opposed to begin with. And so you can address a framework on spending without touching Medicare and Social Security. It is those other areas of discretionary spending that has to be addressed.
Last one here. You said you're willing to run for president in 2024. Listen to a potential opponent here, former Ambassador Nikki Haley.
I had a great working relationship with the president. What I'll tell you is the survival of America matters, and it's bigger than one person. And when you're looking at the future of America, I think it's time for new generational change. I don't think you need to be 80 years old to go be a leader in D.C. I think we need a young generation to come in and step up and really start fixing things.
It wouldn't
be Mr. Determined. Governor, but you're
I would do it no matter what you say.
What's your reaction to a call for generational change at the White House?
You can't tell me no.
Well, if I did make a decision to run,
I know you ain't can say
then
no.
I would be the youngest candidate in the race at this point. And so I love Nikki Haley, and she's a former governor. I think it's important that we have more voices talking about the direction of our country. Her voice is important. My voice is important as well. And so we need to have more, not fewer, that's engaged in this fight for our country, controlling the Biden agenda on border security, addressing our national security issues. And so her voice is important. I believe that my voice is important as well, and so we'll all be making decisions. But I'm glad to see that there's others looking at it besides former President Donald Trump.
All right, Governor Asa Hutchinson, thank you.
It's good to be with you today, Vic.
Thank you.
Septuagenarian spring chicken.
Yeah. 72 is the new 62.
It's true. It is true. All right, meanwhile, the Biden administration set to designate a Russian mercenary group as a transnational criminal organization. What this means for the war on Ukraine.
And the top Pentagon officials meet with key allies to hammer out a plan to get more weaponry to war-torn Ukraine. The key point of contention, tanks. We'll talk about them next.
More people and then...
Bunch of bad guys, way back when.
I got you before you can try anything, buddy. What? Not yet, I haven't. I gotta go places.
Research shows people remember ads with a catchy song. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's a little number you'll never forget.
Did you know that Liberty Mutual customizes?
I want a hug. He's like, no. I want a hug. He keeps saying no.
Only pay for what you need. Liberty, 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 liberty. I am here because they revolutionized therapy. I am here because they saw how cancer adapts to oxygen.
Let me take it out of David's feet.
I am here because they switched off the EGFR gene mutation and stopped the growth of tumor cells. There's a place that's been making one advanced cancer discovery after another for 75 years.
I am here.
He is here. I am here because of Dana-Farber. What we do here changes lives everywhere. I am here.
Sometimes you might not feel ready for the moment. With Roman at your side,
We got this.
you can take care of erectile dysfunction discreetly. So that you're ready. Roman ready.
I don't need that too. What? I said I don't need that too.
Hello. After years of chasing the big Idaho potato trucks, I finally caught it. And now that I got a 4-side tater, I did what anyone would do. I made a mashed
if they want to
potato
fucking
hot
admit it or not.
I made
Any
a
man
red.
that's
Waffle
above,
fries.
any man that's in his 40s that says he doesn't need it is lying his fucking ass off.
What is it, boy? Always look for the growing
Like my
Idaho
brother
seal.
Randy. I take blood pressure medication and I still don't need it. There's a lady going,
Yeah, fuck, man.
Feel well, but
I wish he did need it, and I'd get a nice, good night's sleep. Yeah, bullshit, man. I know who your dad is.
Permanent solution.
My dad started having trouble with erectile dysfunction
I feel so
in
much
his
better. And I think
20s.
that that is the key.
Sail through the heart of historic cities and unforgettable scenery with Viking. Unpack once and get closer to iconic landmarks, local life, and cultural treasures. Because when you experience Europe on a Viking
There's no
longship,
way
you'll spend less time getting
him
there
being
and more time being there.
close to 50 that there's no fucking way
Exploring
he's
the
not
world
using some
in
Viagra.
comfort.
If he's not using it, it's
Closed
because he just
captioning
doesn't have a
brought to you by
prescription.
mesobook.com.
We offer a free book on mesothelioma. Call for the free book.
Trouble?
And receive so much more.
You know what, Trouble?
831.
Daddy's feeling better.
The U.S. Treasury Department is expected to designate the Russian mercenary organization, the Wagner Group, as a transnational criminal organization with links to North Korea. Russian President Vladimir Putin has increasingly relied on Wagner to carry out operations in
I'm
Ukraine.
gonna get your stinky butt.
As we have said publicly, North Korea delivered infantry rockets and missiles into Russia for use by Wagner toward the end of last year.
Wagner is a criminal organization that is committing widespread atrocities.
He's on his back, crawling around on his back.
CNN Oren Lieberman joins us from the Pentagon now. Oren, what does this new designation mean?
First, it means that Wagner and those entities associated with it, perhaps not only in Ukraine, but other places Wagner operates, such as Africa, Syria, will face more sanctions from the U.S. government. It's also a strong statement about how the U.S. views Wagner, a mercenary group used by Russia as an additional force. The U.S. recently declassified photos, it says, are other Russian trains crossing into North Korea, about 5 cars on that Russian train, picking up ammo. You can see the images there, taking that ammo from North Korea and bringing it back to the fight in Ukraine. That's the part of this that makes Wagner a transnational criminal organization. The U.S. had talked about this just a couple of weeks ago, but late last year, and here they say is the evidence, the photographs that back that up. Interestingly, it was Wagner that was using the artillery and ammo provided here, not the Russian Ministry of Defense. And that gets at how Wagner is operating. Essentially, a mercenary organization that is competing with, at times, and operating independently of the Russian military, primarily in Bakhmut, a town in eastern Ukraine. That's where we've seen Wagner operating, according to the U.S., with a very high percentage of convicts, also filling in the shortages of, frankly, bodies in the Russian military that Russia is looking for, and suffering heavy casualties as well. This is another step against Wagner coming from the U.S. Victor and Allison.
So, Oren, as you know, Ukraine wants more tanks. The U.S. is resisting that request. So what's the status?
Well, it doesn't seem like there was any great progress on making sure that Ukraine gets more tanks. There was recently an announcement of tanks. That was the UK sending about a dozen or slightly more of its own Challenger 2 tanks. But the real big question here was about Germany and its Leopard tanks. And then we were waiting for some sort of announcement that Germany had either agreed to send its own Leopard tanks or approved other countries that use German-made Leopards to send those. Poland has been very vocal about its desire. Finland, others as well, actually met on the sidelines of an international gathering in Germany earlier today to see if there was some way forward here. But right now, Berlin is not budging on sending tanks, even though it was Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky who came out and said it is tanks that are at the top of Ukraine's wish list. That group that met on the sidelines, about a dozen or more other countries that operate Leopards, they are optimistic that Berlin will budge and will give way to make sure that the West can provide Ukraine with tanks perhaps sometime in the future here.
What we're really focused on is making sure that Ukraine has the capability that it needs to be successful right now. There are tanks in those offerings. Poland, for example, continues to offer tanks and will provide tanks, and other countries will offer some tank capability.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I don't have any announcements to make on him once. And you heard the German Minister of Defense say that they've not made a decision on Leopards.
Defense Minister, the new German Defense Minister, Boris Pistorius spoke essentially just before that, said that Berlin had not yet come to a decision on tanks, saying there were reasons for and reasons against. But we have seen the U.S. putting pressure on Berlin, and now obviously many other countries putting pressure on Berlin to give the green light. Poland even threatening to go its own in Poland's word, do the right thing and the moral thing, and just face the consequences from Berlin for not waiting for that export license. Victor and Allison.
Warren, thank you for all of that, and just wanted to add that we're just getting in a news bulletin from our London bureau that Germany has just announced $1.08 billion in military aid to Ukraine. So thank you for that, Warren. Let's bring in now retired U.S. Army Brigadier General Steve Anderson. So, General, great to have you. So between Germany's $1.08 billion military aid, and the U.S. has this $2.5 billion military aid package, which I'll just read to everybody what that includes: 90 Stryker combat vehicles, 59 Bradley fighting vehicles, ammunition for rocket systems, additional munitions for aerial defense systems. So what will all of this change in terms of Ukraine fighting the war?
Good boy. Well, thank you, Allison. This is going to give the Ukrainians a maneuver capability that they presently just don't have. I mean, the Bradleys and the Strykers and the German Leopards, the AMX light tanks from the French, the Challengers from the UK, they're going to give them the ability to move, shoot, and communicate and conduct offensive operations. And of course, that's what we really need here. The Ukrainians and the United States want to see the Ukrainians succeed to the point of driving the Russians all the way out of the areas that they've occupied since the 24th of February, and also since 2014 in Crimea. So they need to have that offensive maneuver capability that these vehicles are going to give them. So this is really good news.
So, General, at every phase of the war and to nearly every request from Ukraine, there's been some reluctance from the West to give Ukraine the next level of technology. And President Zelensky pointed this out, that a few months later, the U.S., the West, typically just sends it over. Explain the reluctance and if you think it makes sense, especially in the context of these tanks that are being held back.
Well, I really don't understand the reluctance, quite frankly, Victor. I believe that we need to support the Ukrainians to win the war. Thus far, we've been doing things to make sure they don't lose. And there's a dramatic difference between the two. I mean, for instance, logistics. We need to give them the logistics they need to sustain all this incredible equipment we've given them. And thus far, we haven't done that. We need to give them, as I mentioned, the armored mobility, but we need to
They are good. My backup phone. Hope you don't find all my news. Just kidding. Just kidding here.
Just lay under there, buddy. Call and see which money's in the bank. There's a paycheck from it.
Doing, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. Paula.
I did good on my last month's commission. Let's see, that would have been December? Yeah. Not too bad considering I had COVID half the month. I made a
What a choice. Fucking should have goddamn built. The ship I wanted to get, I could just swap out some parts to make it look like a Sovereign. But it costs extra to get the parts, so I'm like, fuck.
Hi, Julie. But Mom's gonna take Daddy to the doctor, and he said they're gonna take this out. He said that, and the tail just came flying off.
Huh?
He said that, and Trouble's tail came flying out. Just a tail. She's laying over here.
Baby.
Oh, sorry.
You're welcome.
We're all watching the bag and the baby. Thought it was payday yesterday. Okay. Well, that's good news. I know. We're gonna take it out today. Mom, we're gonna take Daddy to the doctor at about. We're probably about. Get this taken out. Yeah, you don't have to break Daddy out.
He's probably like, finally, fuck! What are you so furiously typing
Logging in to see how much time it's estimating we're going to take up if it goes without.
Poopy?
It's totally better.
Yeah, poopy. Poopy. Poopy.
That's it. Yeah, it's about a half hour, and it's going 24 to Woodward. But you can take one day.
Clean shirt already?
Yeah.
Okay.
One in your drawer. If you clean underwear, you don't need those yet. But yeah, I'm gonna wash the laundry and get home tonight. Wash some of the blue hair. Black hair.
Think you have to put in more than you take out.
Boobs. Boobies.
I'm over 45, I realize I'm no spring chicken.
I know what's right for me. I got a plan to which I'm sticking.
My doctor wrote me the script. Box came by mail. It showed up on Friday.
I took the Cologuard and did it my way.
Cologuard is a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive. It's for people 45 plus at average risk, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider for Cologuard.
I did it my way.
He's watching you.
He's watching me.
Oh, we feel like there's someone watching me.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little girls who went to the police academy. 2 in Los Angeles.
The other one lives in the fuck Egypt.
I apologize for the late hour, Mr. Rossmore.
You watched this from last night, too.
I need a weenie. What? You need a weenie? Yes, I need a weenie. What do you need a weenie for?
Once upon a time, there were 3 little girls who went to the police.
Who went to the post.
Bulldogs, this is story time.
Yeah, fucking David Crosby died in the middle of the night. Turned on the TV, started to see to go to the bathroom at 8 in the morning, just that David Crosby was dead. Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
I don't think so.
He was an older man, plus he had a lot of health problems caused by his very bad drug problems.
Well, that'll do it to
He's
you.
actually lucky to have lived this damn long. He's not actually that surprising that he died. He's been living on borrowed time since the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
The sign on the door says, please knock.
I just came by to tell them on the phone. Chicks come down early before, so they put their feathers on.
Eddie, they are all very tired. I'll tell them. The whole routines are sluggish. It's not the same. I'm doing it. I sent you to Oprah. Well, you're not the sole judge in possession. Although your son obviously has a great eye for beauty. Understandably. I'll talk to you later. What are you doing here, Tasker?
Well, I see Mary Ann.
She's not here. She hasn't been here all week. Now she must have quit.
You're just saying that to keep me away from her.
I'm not, Lon. She's gone. Nobody knows where. Now don't hang around this room or I'll have to call security.
Bad news, ladies. Eddie caught news publicity pictures room 4 as soon as you can dress and dry your hair. I'm sorry, but that's it. I'll see you all at practice on Tuesday.
What? Yes, Mama. I'm just waiting until the babies and y'all leave. So I don't. But yes, I got to.
Woe to ye, purveyors of sin. Take your dancing girls and be gone, or they shall be destroyed one by one.
Charlie, what is all this stuff?
It all has to do with our case, Angels. Our client is Dan Abner, owner of the Bulldogs football team. Now, he received that first note a week after he introduced 8 cheerleaders to entertain the fans.
You can't please everyone.
Abner didn't expect to. That's why he ignored those notes until he got a third one just before the game. Bosley? To ignore the warnings of the Lord is foolhardy. The wanton lady who assists you in your wickedness shall also perish.
Well, that doesn't sound any worse than the other ones.
Well, the third note makes reference to a specific person. The young lady in charge of these cheerleaders, Beverly Casey, a former beauty queen. Now, she was supposed to meet Abner and some friends after the game for a drink, and she never showed.
The wanton lady who assists you.
Exactly. 3 notes, 3 girls disappear. Your job is to find out what happened to them. Sabrina, weren't you a former cheerleader?
Oh, well, I mean, I was a high school cheerleader.
It doesn't matter. You only have to act like you know what you're talking about. I've arranged with Abner for you to take over Beverly Casey's job.
Charlie, what about us? You don't...
Yes.
We're not going to be cheerleaders.
I certainly hope so. But you'll have to get those jobs without any help from me.
Charlie, you don't mean we have to try out?
Yes.
Afraid so, Angels. Dan Abner drinks a lot, and he talks a lot. And if he should accidentally blow Sabrina's cover, I want 2 of you on the scene that even he doesn't know about.
Well, I mean, we don't even know the routines.
Of course not. But with Sabrina in charge, I have no doubt you'll be steamed up in no time.
Uh-oh. I think we're in trouble. I think so, too.
5, 6, 7, 8. Turn 2, 3. Turn 2, 3. Higher, hit. Higher knee. Higher knee.
You can hurt yourself.
Are you going to quit in the middle of your audition tomorrow?
No audition can be this tough.
Let me ask you. How long? I have watched films of the Bow Wow's routines all morning.
Excuse me.
The Bow Wows? The Bow
I only had a
Wows.
bowl of cereal.
The Bulldogs. The cheerleaders are the Bow Wows.
I didn't even have any hot hogs yet.
How adorable.
Well, they can't call you the bitches.
That's very impressive, Mr. Abner.
Although the Bow Wows is a pretty fucking stupid name for a fucking bunch of cheerleaders.
One of them could be a
I
crack.
mean, you always want hot-looking girls. You don't want dogettes.
Word got out.
And you can't call yourself the Angels, or that'll give yourselves away.
Well, the public might think you're planning a bomb next. And who knows? You just might.
Well, he might, but I don't think he will. He seems to be concentrating strictly on your cheerleaders.
Don't think I don't feel guilty picking these new kids today. Now tell me, what's been going on?
Well, try not to worry about it too much, Mr. Abner. I will keep a very close eye on them. Now tell me, do I get a vote in the decision today?
No, just Bill Asher helps me decide. Bill's an agent.
Oh.
She brought me the idea of starting this group last month, so I signed her on as an advisor.
Well, does she know what's been happening lately?
No, Belle just pays attention to getting her 10% and keeping her wimpy son away from the girls.
See. Tell me, Mr. Abner, how do you choose the right girls?
Oh, particular yardstick.
My guess is for the perpetrator not seeing anything anymore.
That's a sure sign they're not paying attention to their dancing.
Is not the wimpy son, but the mother. You know, kind of like the whole psycho thing.
Mm-hmm.
Naughty girl, to keep away from my son.
Fred knows how. Oh yeah. You experienced this?
Oh yes, sir. I studied at Juilliard.
Or it could be the wimpy son, but I doubt
I studied electronics.
You hungry, buddy?
Chewy?
Is that yes?
Is it Chewy?
He's over here scratching at the bed like he would normally scratch at the couch post.
Is it Chewy?
No, it's Troubles.
Oh, he's...
Now this is Mr. Taking Beverly's place.
How do you do? All right. Beverly went to Hollywood
What
for
you
a
gotta
job.
do is you pick him up and you're walking towards the cage, and he starts acting like a spasmoid to get to the cage. You know he wants to get in the cage and eat.
Too late. He ran away.
Let's get on.
Sure. Excuse me. Ladies, if you would you form your lines, please? Just fall right in. Could I have a word with you? Listen, the big boss has a thing about you. Just flip your hair around and he'll love you.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're welcome. It's nothing, really.
And if he crawls back up onto even farther, that means no. Right?
If he acts like he does not want to go in there, he does not want to go in there.
Uh-huh.
This is the goody dance.
She's probably like,
It's always that as long as he's doing goody. Sometimes he doesn't. Today's he's all wound up. He only got one play yesterday and the day before. Well, that's okay. Once you get home tonight, he'll be happy.
Terrible disco beast. That's four on the floor. Four on the floor. 4 beats on the kick drum.
I decided on the 2 girls on the end.
Doing eight beats on the hi-hat.
mm-hmm.
Girls, listen, oh, come on, don't be scared. Maybe I could have given you a
So
little
you end
wrong
up with
advice. I'm
16
sorry. I know there'll be a couple places open probably within the week, really soon, and they're yours. They're yours. Yes, they are.
Oh, God, thanks a lot.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So long. Bye. I can't breathe. Who's good about it? I just breathe. Okay, everybody, let's just get up on the field and try to just get a couple of quick shots of everybody with the 2 new girls, and the quicker we get up there, the quicker we'll get back down here. So everybody up, let's go. I think I'm all in this. I don't think we're supposed to be.
I don't think I'm all in this. Girl, like you wear shit that covers your ass normally. Your shorts go up there, like showing blood, like showing cheek. Pussycats. Bow Wows. Not a good name for your cheerleaders. That's not Mary Ann and it's not Ginger. And if you ask me, Mary Ann was hotter than Ginger.
Get out of the couch, buddy.
I mean, oh my God, that booty. She was also smart. You know, she was the only one that made money off that show after it went into syndication. She asked for royalties from syndication. No show had gone into syndication yet. It was the first one. Then the next one was Star Trek. You know? And they're like, yeah, sure, you can have syndication rights. Nothing goes into syndication anyways. That woman died a very wealthy person. She was the only one that was on that show that actually had money. Oh, actually, no, Mr. Howell had money because he played the voice of Mr. Magoo for like 3-4 years on TV in the cartoons. But she's the only one that made money off of it after it went into syndication. Once it was done with its original run, the others had to try to get acting jobs or whatever else they could do. Gilligan went into politics for a little while.
Yeah, in California.
I'm not sure which state.
You little stinky boy.
Became a congressperson. And Gopher from fucking Love Boat became a congressperson.
I want you to meet my oldest and dearest friend, Sam Ray.
How do you do? I've always enjoyed your company.
Lady Sam promised to mention a new girl from his college.
You want Patty at 7, yeah?
Sure, I'll be right back.
Hey, get down, buddy.
7 o'clock in the morning. 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning.
Come here, boy.
This morning or yesterday?
This morning. 8 o'clock in the morning this morning.
Where is down home?
Hey. Come here.
So that was just before you got...
He was 44.
Oh, well, see, I mostly just hung out with the other crowd.
Just before you got me.
I suppose you're from New York and you never heard of Joe Namath.
Well, actually, I almost went out with Mr. Namath once, but I canceled the date. I went to a horse show instead.
Well, then you really are from New York.
Philadelphia, but I hated to shop there. However, my family was terribly sports-minded. Are you into skate?
Skeet?
Was it normal?
No, I never
What?
write about sports where they can shoot back at me. Tell me, Miss Garrett,
there you go.
why'd you take a job like this?
Oh, to change my image. You see, I lost out on a few wonderful picture parts. The producers thought I was too aloof. They can hardly say that now, can they?
I'm here.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. I think I
can
have
put it
enough
back
of
in the
that medicine that I
cage
promised
now.
Eddie.
Well, Mr. Brant, you sound like you'd rather have your 2 front teeth pulled.
Nothing against you girls personally, believe me, but I've spent my whole life covering sports, and I like it hard and simple, no frills. This is a chorus line, you know. But not that you're not absolutely all adorable, but I'd much rather meet you at a church social.
At a church social? Are you a religious man, Mr. Brown?
Well, I've been known to pray at a crucial extra point. Thanks, girls.
Goodbye. Bye-bye. Well, it doesn't look like Mr. Bram's one of our bigger boosters. No, but at least he didn't hide his feelings.
Neither does that nut who's been writing those religious notes.
You're the reason Marianne ain't here.
What?
You took her place. They got rid of Marianne and you took her place.
Listen, mister, I don't know you. And I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Dan Abner did this to torment me. He got rid of Marianne and hired you.
Why would Dan Abner want to torment you?
I'm still sore about the Cleveland game. Everybody's sore. 'Cause I missed that tackle. Everybody except Marianne. She said we all make mistakes.
And she's right. We all do. But you're making a mistake right now if you think I had anything to do with her leaving.
Dan Abner. He cut me, and then he cut Marianne.
Well, then. Or on the fact that Marianne isn't here anymore. You look like you haven't slept in days. You go home now and get some rest. Okay?
Miss Allison? Sergeant Webb, homicide.
Homicide?
Want to ask you a few questions about your ex-boyfriend you found stuffed under your sink. Do you mind?
Thanks, Sarge. I only wish you'd come a few minutes earlier when I was really scared.
Who's the skyscraper?
An ex-bulldog ready for the pound. Not our man, though. He's trying to find one of the missing girls, too. I'll tell you about it on the way home.
Why should I ride home with you?
I want you to help me get that ex-boyfriend out from under my sink. That's right.
And all jumping around to miss up a person's hair. That's what used to bother Marianne. She's the girl who quit last week. Well, it's just as well. The big bell was out to have her fired anyway.
What's the big deal?
Not what. Who? She's that lady agent you auditioned for. She handles most of us and gets us these jobs for exposure. Mighty exposing, too.
Why'd you want to get rid of Marianne?
Marianne double-crossed her. She told Belle she wanted her to handle her, but she didn't sign a contract. Then when Belle got her the job here, she told Belle to get lost. Belle didn't like that one little bit.
Well, where's this Marianne now?
I don't know. Nobody seems to know. Even that big boyfriend of hers keeps coming around here looking for her. Need a ride downtown?
No, thanks. I think it's 9 on time. I got myself an H.
See you, Chris.
Bye.
Yeah, I cut up the rest of the poems for you. Oh, we're good.
Mm-hmm. No calls, Mother.
Excuse me. Is Mrs. Asher hereabouts?
Thank the good Lord, no. I mean, she just stepped out.
Oh. Would it be all right if I just waited for a few minutes?
Oh, sure. You sit right down and be comfortable.
Thank you.
I'm Timothy. I'm Mrs. Asher's son.
Oh, I know. I saw you at the audition.
And you still remember me?
Well, it was just a couple of days ago.
I know. But a girl like you must see a lot of guys every day. I mean, you know a lot of guys. Huh?
Well, not a lot. Some.
You like to go out?
Well, sure. Don't you?
When I have time. I have to study a lot.
Oh, well, what are you studying?
Theology.
Oh, that's nice.
Been kicked out of 3 seminaries.
Faith rates?
Bad behavior. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, it's real nice that you have a calling.
It's not what's calling me. It's my mother pushing me. She figures I should do all the praying while she does all the sinning. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, I can certainly understand why you wouldn't like that arrangement.
You bet I don't.
Listen, how do you feel about your mother handling all them cheerleaders?
I could handle it.